Hello everyone, welcome to art. So today we're going to be drawing a hallway for 1-point perspective. So this is our first big unit of line. So in the live Zoom meeting I'll go over the PowerPoint with the guided notes and all the information, but this is going to be the actual project. So I will do this demonstration live, but some of it may be a little hard when I'm doing that. So I wanted to give you guys a quick video to reference as you're working from home. So we are going to be doing a 1-point perspective hallway drawing. Try to see so you guys can see. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you out here in the hallway so you can see what we're going to be drawing. It's like cribs of the art classroom. Okay, so we are going to be drawing this hallway here. Okay, so, and I'll take pictures of various angles and viewpoints of the hallway so that you guys can work from those images. Or if you come in, you can take pictures on your phone or you can reference them when you're working on them, because this project should take about a week. If you guys don't have bigger paper, I guess I'll just have to work with that. You doing it on a smaller scale. If your paper is really, really tiny and you're able to come pick up paper, that would probably be a good option. If not, I'll work with you. Or if you're able to go to like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or Walmart or something and get some bigger paper, or maybe you can piece together like some computer paper and make it a little bit bigger, because we're going to be doing it on that large size that I showed you. This is an 18 by 24 piece of paper, so it's pretty big. It helps with a lot of detail in drawing it out, especially to really take that perspective all the way back. I'll bring this closer so you guys can see. This isn't my best example. Actually, yeah, this is one of my best examples. Just a little hard to see with that glare, but I'll take pictures of this and of the hallway and everything. So what I want to do is I want to go over a quick demonstration. Like I said, I will do this live, but so you guys can have an idea of how to break down and draw the 1-point perspective in the hallway. So let me set you up. Ooh. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. Should have done that prior. Okay, let's do this. This is how I would act if y'all were really in class. So you're getting the real life view here. So let's do this. It should be high enough. Okay, so I'm going to do it on this whiteboard here, and that way I can take it back and forth to show you. So the first thing we're going to do, you'll need a ruler for this, and I know your rulers are probably smaller. Sometimes I'll give out yardsticks and stuff, but you guys are just going to have to work with what we got. So let me set you up so you can see. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do in the center of your paper, I don't care if the paper's this way or this way, I normally go in a vertical standpoint. I think it gives you a little more space. Totally up to you. So draw out the box. Now when you make this box, this is going to be kind of your hallway indicator. Maybe I'll bring this closer to you guys. Okay, so you're going to start with a box. It should be in the center of the paper. Obviously mine's a board, but yours would be a paper. Use a ruler. I'm not going to use a ruler for demonstration purposes, but please use a ruler. So draw that box. Okay, don't make it too big. We don't want it to be overwhelming. Okay, but you know, make it a decent size. So don't draw it teeny tiny. We don't want it to take up the whole paper either. Okay, so go ahead and draw that box while I'm erasing that. All right, great. The next thing you're going to do, since this is a 1-point perspective, so everything in this drawing has to go to that 1 point. Okay, so what you're going to do is put a dot, an X, something in the center that indicates where everything is going to lead to. So every single line, unless it is straight up and down or straight across through the line on that axis, goes to that line. So any type of diagonal lines goes to that center focal point. Hopefully that makes sense, because this is a recording, so I'm going to pretend like I'm asking you. So if that doesn't make sense, go ahead and pause here, set up a Zoom meeting with me, or email me. Or Google. I think you can do Google Meets or something, kind of like, anyway. I'm going to put that. So, alright, so put that point there. So now you're going to build your walls, your ceiling, and your floor, okay? So take that ruler, line it up to this point and this corner right here. Okay, can you guys see that? Looks like there's a little bit of a glare. Okay, so take your ruler and line up to that point and one of the corners. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you don't necessarily have to draw the line inside, but I'm going to show you for visual purposes. Okay, so it's lined up here and it's lined up to the corner. Now we're going to take it out to the edge. It may not go to the corner of the paper, but that's okay as long as it lines with this point. Okay, so it doesn't have to go to the corner of the paper. It may. Most of them don't, so don't freak out about it, people who are OCD and perfectionists, okay? It needs to go to that center point and line up, okay? So now, we want to, I'm going to erase it so you guys can see. We want to take each all the way around. Good thing about this video, if I'm going too fast, you can pause it. Okay, so we obviously see this doesn't go to a corner, this doesn't go to a corner, but we've got our walls. Okay, so our ceiling. We've got our floor. Alright, hopefully you're all with me. If not, pause. You don't need to label everything, I'm just doing that for video purposes. If it helps you, you can, but it's not necessary. Okay, so if you draw these lines in here, make sure you make them very light. The other big thing is draw light until you get it right. You're going to do probably a lot of erasing, so the lighter you draw, the easier it's going to be instead of having all those ugly pencil marks everywhere. Okay. So. Alright. So now we've got the basis of our hallway broken down. So now what I'm going to have you do is work on the floor. So each line in the floor, you guys can't see the floor. Well, you'll see it in the pictures, but I'll show it to you really quick. So if you guys kind of look down at the pattern in the floor, okay, see it's these little squares. Some are colored, some are not. So I'll get to that in just a minute. That has more to do with coloring instead of the actual sign. Okay? So, what I want you to do is break down the floor. So once again, everything has to lead back to this point. Everything. Okay? So, if it helps you to draw those guidelines in that little box, then bring them down. Okay? Using your ruler. Obviously, I'm not. Hopefully this is making sense. You kind of see how the lines start to slightly turn. So don't just turn them from this point. They should be still, every time I take my ruler and go, okay, that lines up, that lines up. Normally, if you guys would be in class, I would grab your pencil, grab your ruler, and I would be able to stop you before you got too far. So I really need you guys to focus on that part. You don't want your squares to be too big or spaced out, but you also don't want them to be so teeny tiny unless you're just going for real specific detail. So once you have the floor drawn out, okay, now this we are going to use horizontal lines going straight across. So you can just take your ruler, go all the way across to create your floor. Okay. Hopefully you're all with me. Obviously, you would watch me and then I would wait for you to do it and then I'll move on. But since this is a recording, you can pause me before moving on. Okay? So now we're here. We've got the bases of our floor completed. Wondrous. So now we're going to go to the ceiling. We've got a picture here. I was going to say let me go in the hallway. Well, let me go in the hallway so that you can see what I'm talking about. So, these are not real glasses, by the way. These are blue light glasses. They're really good if you get headaches from looking at the screen too much. Okay, so if you guys look down the hallway, you see these kind of rows of lights. You see how this one looks bigger because it's closer to us, okay? And then as they get farther away, they look smaller. So it almost looks like they kind of go in a triangle shape. Hopefully you guys all see that. Let me do that one more time really quick. Oops. Okay. Miss Claps teach and dance. Okay. So, because normally I would have you guys sitting out in the hallway. We go through it step by step. So sad. Okay. So. Alright. So. We understand how the ceiling lines look. Okay. So now we're going. That's not what I want. I need to put this up higher. Okay. So. Now we're going to draw those ceiling lines. So, what I tell people is take this very lightly. Start here. Come on the inside of that. Draw a line. Kind of like you did with the floor, but just do it on the outside edges. Okay? Then come across with some horizontal lines. Leave a little baby space. And a big space. Big space. Big space. Okay? You should get at least 3 to 4 lights in your ceiling, depending on how big your box is or how far back you want the image to go. So, now that you've got those drawn, you want to go on with your eraser, and you want to kind of carve away. That's why I tell you to draw very, very light. Okay, everybody seeing those lights? Yeah? Okay. So, if you want to make them look a little more three-dimensional, you can add some little form components in there. Think about the use of perspective. You do not have to do that. You can just leave them kind of flat, but that's, you kind of see how I added to make them 3D, which obviously I'm using the Expo marker, but you get the picture. Okay. So now we've got our ceiling. When you color in the ceiling and the lights, do them either a faint gray or a faint yellow. And I'll explain that in just a minute so that they're not just even though they are white, they do have that kind of grayish yellow tone to them. So we'll get to that in just a minute. So now you're designing your hallway. So depending on, I'm going to take images from different viewpoints of the hallway. So some of you may have a shot that's farther back. Some of you may be closer to the doorway. This is where your door is pretty much going to go. Okay, that lead to the outside area. You don't have to draw that right now. I'm just drawing that. So if you do it, though, if your door becomes much smaller, you may have to extend some of those floor lines back. Hopefully this isn't confusing you. Okay? You may need to bring the wall in here a little bit more. Okay. So now, focusing on lockers. So, if you're drawing a set of lockers that's on the left side of the wall, bring that line across the middle. This line is pretty straight because it's going to line up here with that center line. Okay? Leave a little bit of space at the top. Okay? And leave a little bit of space at the bottom. So that's where the floor and everything connects. And there's space above and below the lockers out there. When I take pictures, hopefully you'll see that. Okay? So then these lines can go straight up and down to create the lockers. Now this is where it gets tricky. When you draw the details of the locker, so there's like a little combination thing on there. You don't have to draw all those numbers specifically. You can just draw a circle for that. But the little slits in the lockers, okay, those all have to line up back to the vanishing point. Don't do them like this. This line may be okay, but these need to start tilting. You kind of see that. Does that make sense? See how these are angled down towards, and when you're using your ruler, that'll help as well. Okay, so for the little box part where the little combination turn is, you're going to do the same thing for the top of the box will match up, the bottom, and then these lines will go straight up and down. So I need to demonstrate that a little closer. Okay, so if this is my little box, these go straight up and down. Sorry, I'm right-handed. And then you can just draw a circle in there for the combination thing. If you want to be more specific and detailed, that's fine, but I'm okay with that. So over on this side, there's some posters hanging on the wall, there's some artworks hanging on the wall, so it's pretty much the same thing. You want the top and the bottom to go back to those points, okay? And then these will go straight up and down. So one side might be a lot bigger or larger, okay? If we look at this here, so you know if this is a bulletin board, if it's an image. If there's a painting and you know it's a painting, but you can't really make out what it is, you can fill in your own artwork or design there. I'm okay with that for a little unique originality. Don't forget little details though, like the exit sign that's hanging above. If you want to do, this is a big one, if you want to draw the columns, you'll kind of notice in the images, actually I should probably show you this on the video so you really see what I'm saying, but you'll see it in the images as well. So let's go for an adventure. Actually, I've never watched Crocodile Hunter, but I always wanted to say that, so here we go. So, alright, let's see. Alright, so you kind of see, if you're sitting in the hallway, you see how this part kind of caves in there. Mr. Klein's room, it kind of caves in. You can see these little indents. See how they just kind of came out of that little cave right there? Okay, so if you want to include or draw those columns, I'm going to show you a simple way to do it. You may do it in your own technique. I'm okay with that, as long as it looks right and everything lines up. Okay, so the easiest way to explain it and do it is, okay, so over here, actually I'm going to do this in a different color so you guys can see. I'm doing red. Alright, so if you want to draw those columns, take a line a little bit above, okay, and a little bit below here. Everybody see that? See how I went a little bit above this line and a little bit below that line. You're going to do the same thing again. Okay, now you want to connect these two lines. So I'm going to match it up to my vanishing point. This is a little too tilted because of the way I'm drawing. Okay, then these lines, even though it goes against a little bit of perspective, are going to go straight back until they meet the wall. Same thing here. Everybody see that? Then we're going to connect those. That one probably should be a little higher, but you'll get the gist of it. We're going to connect those. Okay. Then you go in, erase those other lines. Do you see that? So this would be like the side of that column you see, or that doorway. So you know, if you want to make it look like it's sitting in there more, you can even add a line up there to make it look like the hallway goes back. Okay, think about water fountains here. They'll need to line up. You'll have a little bit of a curvature. Okay, it'll almost, I don't really know how to explain it without you guys being here, but you know, try to draw it the best you can. Just make sure, even if you make them curvy, that that bottom and those lines, even though they're curved, still match up to those. Okay? Don't leave just yet, even though the bell rang. Okay, so hopefully this breaks it down for you a little bit more. I will do this live in Zoom on the day that I present it. But if you have questions, this would probably be more of a Zoom or Google Meets thing, because if I can't really see what you're doing and see how you're doing it, you can send me pictures and I can give you feedback on it, but then you may just keep doing the same thing over and over, so I might have to see how you're doing it. So if you have questions and you're okay with that, you can set that up. Hopefully this broke it down. Obviously this is kind of a very messy example, but hopefully it broke it down a little bit more for you. Like I said, utilize this video, utilize the live session so that we can create these nice 1-point perspectives. Okay, bring it a little closer so you can see. See how she has it going. Hers, she did her box much smaller. That's fine if you want to put that much detail into it. Like I said, it's a little bit easier on the bigger paper, so I don't know how you're going to do it if you don't have bigger paper, you don't have access to bigger paper. But I'll work with you. Okay? Have a great day. If you need me, email me to set up a Zoom meeting or email me with questions or images. I'll be glad to help you as much as I can. Okay? Have a great day, guys.